But no,
Yeah.
before we move on, I do want to. You mentioned this $8 million deal. I want to kind of break it down just a little bit, if you don't mind, possibly sharing a little bit of numbers. But this $8 million deal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I accidentally just I put my screen in saver mode. Anyways, this $8 million deal. How many investors you got?
So I'm one of the investors on the table, and this is one of the things when you're getting into different types of projects, like you want to co-invest with people that have a great track record of doing it, right? The developer that I got into this deal with because of another board that I sit on and another investor that I know, long story short, has done everything up to like 100 units at a time and had at least like 5 really big deals that were done. And so it makes it easy. Like even here, like I'm not gonna, name drop who's doing what, but a good buddy of mine just finished crossing over having like 100 AUM in like multifamily real estate, right? Which sounds like crazy, but his methodology is even the aspect of I can own 100% of like something small or a small percent of something huge, right? So who are the people you get to partner up to do it? So I'm one of 8 investors on the capital table for that project, and I syndicated, meaning that like I put some of my own money, then I also pulled money from other investors that I work with. And then there were 7 other investors that all put money into the deal. And then there's also some bank financing. I don't want to breach NDA, so I'm not going to say specific numbers, but everything is going pretty well. 4 of the houses are already done. 7 of them are going to be done over the next 2 months roughly. And then hopefully they'll all be sold by the end of this year. And that project broke ground in December of 2021.
Oh, so you guys are flipping it. You're not keeping it?
Build to sell. So yeah, build to sell. Yeah.
Why not hold it long term?
They're luxury builds, right? So I think one of the other things that really sucked is like in COVID, like construction costs and engineers were allowed to swing things around and basically charge you a rate in their price. So even the cost of the project went up over $1 million. And I think the whole point for investors in a lot of cases, they want to get in, make money, like get out. Because with, I think luxury units like that, I mean, they can cash flow depending on what you're going to do, but all the investors were pitched on, this is built to sell. So that's why we got into it. And that's why we did it. And then now this also helps me build my track record as I go on to like the next project, as I do the next capital raise. Because one other thing is like deal flow and like access, right?
Yeah.
Majority of the people that are on the cap table for that deal are like 50 plus. And that's another thing that's pretty fun. Like when you're younger doing it, a lot of people are willing to invest. If you're like 50 something saying like you're doing some of these things, and there's nothing wrong with it, and everyone has their own path. But it's a lot easier when people are like, okay, cool, like what have you actually done? Like, what do you have access to? Like, what kind of deals do you do? And do you actually understand like the numbers? Are you just getting money and throwing into stuff that you don't understand? Or can you really talk through the deals? And by being inside of those things, you really get to learn a lot more. Because even the first house that I did, the developer that I work with had me, this one's a way bigger project. So like, I'm way more hands off. But the first one, I'm going back and forth with the city, doing a bunch of stuff. Even with like flips I've done, like I'm doing a lot of project management as well as asset management. And you learn so much just by controlling the deal. But then eventually you learn you want to delegate to operators, because if you have someone, and actually I was having a conversation about this yesterday, if you're only spending, this is the challenge my friend made to me, because I like having my hands in different stuff. If you're spending less than 5 hours a week learning something new, don't study it. Unless like maybe like you're first getting like started. But if you already started niche down and you got like really good at something, because you have people like one of my friends here has a whole team of folks that work over 8 hours a day just doing a few things that like someone's trying to learn an hour at a time, 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So really it becomes, what's my best use of time? What's the best way I can add value and then make money in the process? Instead of feeling like I got to learn everything, I got to do everything, because it's impossible. There's not enough hours in a day.